Hi guys, this is Andrea and this is the first Daruma and Darin video, so I might sound a bit awkward, but here we go. In this video, I'm using a couple workbooks that I organized with my two LSAT teammates. We started our group in April, and since then we've been improving on all sections tremendously. We are now able to solve most all question types on all sections comfortably, but to be honest, we are still working on speed and perfection. And that's where this workbook system comes in. In this video, I'm going to briefly introduce you to the workbooks, then tell you a little bit about how I learned to study, introduce you to what Daruma and Darin is all about, then quickly go over one of the LSAT reading workbooks as well as one of the logical reasoning books to show you how they are organized and how to use them. I really hope that this video can help you see what your LSAT journey may look like. Below, I'll make sure I write a bit on how you can get the workbooks and participate if you like. The workbooks are organized by question type mostly, so we have two games workbooks, one focused on mastering sequence, another on mastering grouping questions, and as you can see for logical reasoning, we have a few workbooks here. We have one for flaw, sufficient, necessary, strengtheners, weakeners, comparison, role, must be true, paradox, principle, inference, and we have a miscellaneous workbook. This miscellaneous workbook is a set of several odd types of question types that don't show up on all tests but do show up on some. Then we have the critical reading workbooks that are designed in series. And each workbook has 3 full tests. All the practice problems are from the real test, but organized in question type, rule type, and really taken apart so that you know how to solve them. How I learned how to study? I was really never good at studying when I was in elementary school, but by the time I went to middle school, I became top of class. I think my key to academic success has been all about having a couple supportive teachers, having access to resources, and knowing what I was going for. And this is where the Daruma dolls and goal setting comes into play. Beyond goal setting, I would also say that achieving success has been all about everyday work and perseverance. And lastly, I would say that in doing work that helped me inch towards my goals was all about my good habits and having a game plan of taking really good notes, then organizing them to perfection and using reliable rules that stay consistent, such as math rules or English grammar rules, to understand how to solve each question type. Once I understood how to solve them, I would really practice solving the problems so that I could become an expert or Darin solver in whatever problem type or problem set I was working on. So that's why I believe that rules and practice and repetition, they're all very important. Having said that, I recommend that you approach this as you would a 6 to 12 month project at work, setting goals and making time for uninterrupted focus and review. Because it does take at least 200 hours of study time to go from scratch to becoming comfortable with all the question types. Without further ado, let's jump right into this reading workbook. So here you can write, I'm going to write my name, and also erase. You're supposed to do each of these workbooks several times. And so on the number symbol, you're supposed to write the number of times you've done the particular workbook. So if I did it 5 times, I would write 5. These workbooks are in PDF format, so you can print them out and do them multiple times. You can also use note apps like GoodNotes and make copies of these workbooks and do them several times. By the way, I'm not sponsored by GoodNotes. Moving on, every workbook starts with this Daruma page, where you write your specific goals on your left in the wish box. And it's important that you are very specific with these goals. Doing things intentionally and having specific goals help achieve them. For example, on my wish box for my reading workbook, I would be honest about how many wrong I averaged out on each passage. So for instance, if I am starting at 3 wrong per passage, I would write that down. Then I would write out my goals in increments. For example, I would say I want to get 2 wrong per passage. Then 1 wrong per passage. Then 1 wrong per every other passage. And finally, maximum 1 wrong per test. And I would also write details on my speed. So maybe it takes me 5 minutes to read a passage. Then I would set out so that my goal for reading time is down to mapping out entire passage in 3 minutes. These are, by the way, really realistic goals for the reading section. So a Daruma doll is a Japanese wishing doll that is also a roly-poly, and it represents resilience as well as a reminder about the principles of achieving goals, which is setting them clearly, working towards the goals intentionally, and finally achieving them. I really hope that when you finish your workbooks that you become a Darin of each question type. Darin is a Korean word meaning a whiz of some kind. And when the Koreans say Darin, they really mean Darin, like whiz. Every workbook also comes with this section, where it tells us how to study each section or question type. For the reading section, basically, the objective is to practice the ability to map out each passage in 3 minutes using English grammar rules. From the question stem, we need to be able to locate the location of the answer in the passage and be able to imagine how the correct answer choice can show up. On the right, we have the table of contents, and below, we have the basic steps to tackling the reading section. Next, we have a page on the basic reading rules, and the rest of the workbook is filled with reading passages. As you can see, and I solved these. The last 5 pages of each workbook are empty note pages. They are there so that you can annotate your wrong and write out the rules that will help you get to the correct answer. This will help you identify why you are getting them wrong and how to correct your wrong habits. When you get the workbooks, you'll get instructions on how to get access to the videos and that show you how to apply the rules on specific passages that correspond with the series you have. Okay, so let's move on to the next workbook. Here we have a workbook for one of the logical reasoning question types, flaw. Again, you have your Daruma page and also your how to study and steps to solving page. And on the right of that page, you have the table of contents. The flaw workbook is organized in couple sections. So here we have a couple pages on how to identify the type of flaw in the blurbs. Then we have a practice section where you can practice identifying flaw in the blurbs. And next, we have the section with the flaw types and full questions. For example, this page is all about causation, exclusivity, and so on. Lastly, you have the mixed flaw question practice section. And again, the the 5 empty note-taking page section. Okay, well, that's it for this video. Please leave me a comment if it was helpful. Please subscribe and like the video if you like doing that. And please let me know what you think about the video. I feel like it was pretty awkward, but I did my best. I hope you found it helpful, and please stay tuned for the next video. Bye bye!